Yo, what is up guys? It is Samool back again with another Shiju Pool video for you guys today. And today we're going to be talking about two banners that will be replacing Teiyu and Lilius, as you can see on your screen here, which will be ending in about 23 hours after this video is recording. By the time this video is released, it'll probably be down to like 15-16 hours. So yeah, by tomorrow guys, there'll be two new banners replacing these new units. If you guys are curious on which of these units are worth pulling for, if any, and if their artifacts are good, I recommend checking out my last Shiju Pool video talking about both of these units as well as their artifacts. Now before we get into the new units that are going to be running on the new banners, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel to get updates on when my videos and Shiju Pool videos like this drop, and also to get updates when I go live, because I do plan to start live streaming again sometime in the future. That being said, let's get right into the video. So the first unit that we're going to have replace one of those two banners is going to be Mort. Now Mort is an Earth Knight. Let's go over his skills really quick. His S3 is an AoE attack that will inflict injuries, and injuries, if you guys don't know, will reduce the max HP of the enemy up to a maximum of 50%, and then he'll become enraged for 2 turns and also recover his own HP. Now the damage he does and the amount he heals is proportional to his own HP, and the injuries was also scaled to the damage dealt as well. Now keep in mind that this skill, it doesn't really do too much damage, but the injuries will stack up, and the injuries actually inflict like a lot of pressure onto the enemy team, because you can see that the injuries can go up to about 20%, so it's pretty crazy. It's not like an injury set, which is a flat 5%. This one will actually scale with the damage, which is very, very nice. Next we have his S2, which makes him immune to stun and sleep, makes him very good against like control comps, and he has a chance to counterattack when attacked, which was recently buffed. And if he inflicts a crit when using a basic skill, such as his S1, he will also activate Sacred Blessing. Now Sacred Blessing will increase crit hit resistance of all turns and increase, or of all allies, and also increase speed of himself for 2 turns. So it makes him a very, very annoying unit to deal with because he buffs his team, and also the counterattack is very nice as well, because you'll see for his S1, it is a single target attack that will decrease defense, and this will also ignore effect resist when you're enraged, which you'll get from your S3, so it makes him a very annoying defense breaker. If you actually AoE him and he actually defense breaks one of your DPS, that DPS is basically dead the next turn. Mort can actually just one-shot the DPS with his S1, and this damage also increases with his max HP. So yeah, you're going to see that you're going to mainly build him on like a max HP, crit chance, and crit damage build. You're not going to want to build him like a typical knight, like super tanky, but you want him to be pretty bulky like a bruiser while being able to inflict pretty good damage, because yeah, he's not really a good sustain unit that can help your team too much. Mostly something to pressure the enemy team in terms of like damage. Now we have his exclusive equipment. We have his S1 being buffed, which will increase the decreased defense chance by 10%. Next we have his S2 being buffed, which will increase the duration of the crit hit resistance buff granted by his second part of his S2. And we also have his S3 being buffed as well, which will increase the damage. Honestly, I think all of these exclusive equipments are pretty trash. Probably the best one is going to be either the S2 or S3 one, because yeah, all of them are pretty trash, right? Like the extra duration of your increased crit hit resistance buff will get stripped really quickly anyways. Increased defense chance, it doesn't even put it to 100%, it'll only put it to 60 compared to 50, which is basically the same in my opinion. And damage dealt by 10% doesn't really matter too much as well. It's probably the best on his S3 because you get more injuries. But yeah, these exclusive equipments are pretty bad. You're mostly going to be using this for that max HP % buff. PvE not really used anywhere, guys. PvP is going to be kind of used in like World Arena, I guess, as a counter pick, but honestly he's like pretty trash in my opinion even after the buffs. I don't think he's that good of a unit, guys. This is a very, very easy skip. Not really used anywhere. Is mostly still a meme unit after his buffs. I think Smilegate really messed up on his buffs. They needed to buff him in a different way. The next unit we have to replace the banners is going to be Politis. So going over Politis skills, guys, her S3 is an AoE attack that has a decreased hit chance and unbuffable for 2 turns. This will be 100% when you max it out. Next we have her S2, which is her signature ability. Whenever an enemy uses a non-attack skill, she will activate her Tranquility, which is an AoE attack that will decrease buff durations by 1 turn, and also increase her CR by 30%. Next we have her S1, which is also very annoying. She has a stun chance that goes up to 40%. You can soul burn it for an extra turn. Now Politis is really, really annoying. The most areas of content you're going to see her in is going to be like defense teams or in like World Arena as a counter pick, because you're going to see when an enemy uses a non-attack skill, she'll actually activate her S2, CR push, strip all immunities, right? Get another turn, and then S3 to actually strip, or not strip, but put unbuffable and put decreased hit chance. Really annoying. And the thing is, you have to notice that these two abilities are AoE skills. So if you put her on something like a Abyssal Crown, she has 2 AoE chances to actually stun the enemy team, And also with her S1, if she takes another turn, you have an extra chance to stun, which makes her a very, very annoying stun bot. And also really annoying because the debuffs she puts on are just like super crippling to like cleave teams, right? Also her S2 doesn't strip buffs, but decreases buff durations by 1 turn. So it's very, very good against immunity buff because, yeah, immunity set will give you 1 turn of immunity. Very powerful unit, guys. She's mostly going to be used in PvP, not really used in PvE though. PvP, like I said, you're going to use her on like defense teams to deter against cleave. You can also use her in World Arena to deter against cleave. She's also a good counter to AOL. You can use her against Conquer Ilias. You can even use her against like Payra teams to try to disrupt. Very flexible unit and very strong. She's one of the better units for PvP in my opinion. That's an RGB 5-star. And I think she's a must-have for late game players that are trying to get into PvP because she's a very good answer to some units in the current meta right now. PvE, like I said, she's not used that much, but because she's so good in PvP, guys, I think that if you guys have the spare bookmarks and you guys already have the collab units from last year, then she's definitely worth pulling for. If you guys don't have the collab units from ReZero or Tensura, or at least all of them, then you're going to want to make sure you save some bookmarks because you can always get Politis later. She is an option from the Season 2 Selective Summon when you beat Episode 3, and you can get her there as well. So, yeah, very good unit, guys. I think she's definitely strong. Worth pulling for, though, it depends on your bookmark situation because of the announced collab. Next, we have Mort's Artifact, Ancient Dragon's Legacy. This is a night exclusive artifact that will increase your crit chance by a flat 15%. And after you use a non-attack skill, you have a chance to increase your crit damage for 2 turns. You're going to see this is very good on Mort because of his S2, counting as a non-attack skill. So after you get crit resistance buff to your team and you have speed buff to yourself, you get crit damage up. So this artifact's actually not that bad on Mort. Actually pretty decent. The only thing is like, you're not going to really want to buy this from the powder shop because Mort is not that great, right? And you don't really want to use Mort anywhere, so why would you want to buy this artifact, right? So that being said, like this artifact, although it might seem pretty decent on Mort, like Mort is a bad unit, so there's no point of buying this if this makes sense. However, if you already have Mort and you already have this artifact lying around for some reason, then sure, yeah, you can use it on him. But the thing is also, like, this artifact's bad unless you plus 30 it, because you don't want to get that RNG where you don't get that crit damage buff, because otherwise you're just using a plus 15% crit chance artifact, which is really trash. So yeah, I definitely don't think this is worth buying for or even pulling for, guys. Definitely an easy skip for the artifacts. And next we have Politis' artifact, Knowledge Seed. So this is an interesting artifact, very cheesy. It's a mage exclusive. I don't even know why this is Politis' artifact because it doesn't synergize with her kit at all really, but you're going to see that when you die, you have a chance to grant all allies, except for the caster, obviously because he's dead, or she's dead, a random buff for 2 turns. Now the buffs you get are very strong. You can get attack greater, so you get gab buff for 2 turns on your entire team, increased defense, increased evasion, which is also very good, immunity, which is very good, and increased crit hit resistance. Very strong. The only thing is, yeah, there's a lot of strips in the meta, right? So buffs aren't that great. There's unbuffable, which will block this artifact completely. And the biggest thing is, like, mages, right, already have, like, really good artifacts. Like, on Politis, why would you not use Abyssal Crown, right? So much AoE, so much stun potential, really annoying to deal with. You can also run Toghel's Ancient Book, very good. Even Isla Violin on AoE units, if you don't have Abyssal Crown, is very good for stripping buffs, because there's so many buffs in the meta. Also, this artifact needs to be at plus 30 to get the 100% chance, as you see, right? So yeah, very annoying if you don't have this at plus 30. And even if you do, like, why would you use this over the other artifacts which are way more consistent, right? So that being said, I think this is not worth buying for either. The only time I would recommend using this is if you have like 6 copies of this randomly and you get this to plus 30 and you're trying to run a super cheesy comp for fun, then sure. But overall, I think this is like definitely not worth it at all either, especially for like newer players, right? It's definitely for like whales that are just so bored with the game trying to find fun comps to play with, and you have this at plus 30, right? So yeah. That being said, out of all the units, out of the 2 units and the 2 artifacts, guys, the only thing that is worth going for is Politis. But you want to keep in mind, guys, that we have the collab coming out in a week from now, and it's going to be either ReZero or Tensura. I do believe that they'll be updating us on what collab it is in the future, and also the release date. But keep in mind, you guys do want to be saving your bookmarks, which I say every video, because yeah, for some reason Smilegate has a lot of good events going on. I think they're trying to milk us for cash. So, you know, don't fall into the trap of spending too much money on the game, guys. Just save your bookmarks. If you miss out on some units, it's fine. Not the end of the world. They'll come back, most likely. So, not the end of the world, and you can always, you know, just find different units to replace whatever units you're missing. That being said, guys, I hope this video helped you guys out, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.